looks like you're the driver. It could be you're one of the mechanics as well. Is that it?
Yeah, it's just me and my dad down here this year, and might be a little work if something goes wrong, but we've got some help from Chevrolet and Herzog Motorsports, and everybody down here seems to help out everybody else, so we'll make it through.
Good to see you here. I mean, where do you think you'd fit into a field here? What's your aim?
My goal would be top 10. I'm only two-wheel drive, so I'm at a big disadvantage to the all-wheel drive cars. I've got a lot of horsepower, but it's hard to get that horsepower to grab onto a gravel road. So we're going to shoot for top 10. That's my goal.
How much horsepower actually? What are you running in this machine?
It's a small block Chevrolet, all aluminum, 350 cubic inch, and it's got 640 horsepower. It runs real well.
Lots of power, like
Lots
you said.
of power.
Now, have you had a look at the hill and been up there in a road car or something?
Yeah, we've been up there in the rental cars. It's kind of difficult. We're not used to driving on the right, so I don't know if that's good or bad, driving up and down in a rental car, because I'm driving on the wrong side of the car. But the road is beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous layout, a lot of good technical turns. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be hard to remember where you're at. A lot of it looks the same, but overall, it's a really neat road.
Now, what's been your experience up to now? Has hill climbing been your specialty?
Yeah, I grew up in front of Pikes Peak. Every day when I eat breakfast, I can see the mountain out my back door. And my dad's raced Pikes Peak since I was born. I've been on Pikes Peak every year of my life. And I was able to start in a car 3 years ago. And it's a lot of fun. I raced ATVs, I raced quads like these guys here at Pikes Peak and at other hill climbs, and was successful in that. And but growing up, your dream is to get in a race car. So 3 years ago, I was able to switch into the car, and me and my dad compete against each other on Pikes Peak, and it's been a lot of fun.
What class of car is this when you run on Pikes Peak?
Pikes Peak calls it super stock car. It's a sedan that is built after, appearance-wise, of a four-passenger car. Other cars that we compete against will be Mustangs, Camaros, Monte Carlos, those type vehicles.
All two-wheel drive, though, yeah?
All two-wheel drive. That's our rules, is two-wheel drive.
So it's quite a different scene just here, because you've got a lot of rally cars that have been modified, especially for the hill climb, turbo, four-wheel drive.
Yeah, and that's stuff that we can't run. We can't run four-wheel drive. We can't run a turbo. So it's a different world. So it's very hard to compete as far as trying to beat those guys, but we're going to give it everything we got to look good, and put on a good show, and make it to the top on Sunday.
Okay. Hey, good luck, and really enjoy the mountain.
Thank you. It's glad to be here.
Good one. Thanks, Layne.
Thank you.
Very good. That's great. Facing me. Yeah, painful as that may be. So, Layne, what's been happening? You had lots of dramas here last 24 hours, huh?
24 hours has been non-stop. One small problem after another. We had a Jezel rocker failure yesterday on the start line, and that caused a loss of oil pressure, which did damage to the main and the connecting rod bearings. It wasn't bad, but it was too bad to run, so we had to hunt for parts, and Dennis up in Cromwell was able to get us some bearings and a rocker, and we were able to they actually brought them to us at midnight last night. Wow. And early this morning we started putting the bearings in, and my dad and Russ worked real hard all morning, got the bottom end back together, got the rockers put on. We fired up the motor, and the Weaver pump had a bad seal in the oil pump. So we started all over again trying to fix a leak, put it together to make the first run, and it leaked again, missed the first run. We're able to get it fixed, and we made the second run finally. So we've got a lot of problems so far, but we've overcome them all with hard work and lots of help. The guys, everyone here in New Zealand has been very, very helpful, helping us find the right people at the right time with the right parts. So we've had a help. I wish I could remember everybody's names. A gentleman named Warren just jumped in today and helped us out for about 3 hours, and couldn't have done it without him. Don't even know who he is or where he's at. So everybody down here is just fantastic to work with. Once we got the car on the road, the Chevrolet V8 had tons of power, so the motor was fantastic, and we really had a good run, other than the rain and the fog. I don't have a wiper on my car, so once I got into the fog, the rain was hard to deal with. When I got in the fog, I couldn't even see out of the car, so it was real slow after that. But we made it to the top, and that's half the challenge right there. So
that's awesome. That's right.
Yeah, a lot of teamwork, a lot of help Thanks to Herzog Motorsports for their extra hands and tools and equipment. Couldn't have done it without them.
Now, I mean, this had to happen just when it's just you and your dad really down here on your own.
Yeah, we're just me and my dad on our car. That's why I want to thank Herzog Motorsports. All the guys from Herzog's really jumped on and helped us, and they're phenomenal. There's a great bunch of guys, and they're top notch. They know what they're doing, and we couldn't have done it without them.
Good stuff. So tomorrow, I mean, now you can look forward optimistically to a really nice run tomorrow to make, you know, to finish it off properly.
Absolutely. If we get a clear skies and I don't have fog, if I can see the road ahead of me, I should be able to knock a minute off of my time, because it was so slow. I was really slow once I couldn't see the road, and I don't have it memorized. So I got, you know, with the fog and not having it memorized, I was in trouble. I had to really slow down. So I'm praying for some good weather tomorrow.
Good one, and great you could make it. Really good to see you up there.
Thank you. It was great to be on top.
Good one.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, huh? So Larry, you look mighty spectacular out there, but I'm sure that's not what you want, eh?
No, that's the problem. We're just sliding around too much. We just don't have really the right tire combination, and it's difficult. We can't get the right size tire for our vehicle, so we're used to running on a lot smoother, harder surface. So it looks good, but we're not going anywhere.
You look a bit like a frustrated man right now.
Yeah, if I was hoping we'd do better, but the course it's just too rocky and too loose, and we can't get any traction at all.
I see you guys regrooving some tires at the back. Do you think you can get a lot more out of them?
No, that's the same thing we've had already. We're just trying to duplicate that. We'll put a few more grooves in there, but it's not going to help that much. We're just a little too far off.
So what's the plan for tomorrow? You just got to start to baby this thing now a bit, or what? You just keep on as you are?
Yeah, I'll try and pick up a little more time driving. Just, you know, I'll learn the course maybe a little bit each time. That helps a little bit. That's good for something. But we're pretty much where we're going to end up, I think. I don't think we're going to see anything spectacular from here on. I just need to keep it on the racetrack. I don't need to fall off the hill.
That's right. And it looks like you were pushing pretty hard up there today.
Yeah, I was trying my best, but every time I'd start doing it, then I'd almost slide over the side, and I just couldn't keep it on the course.
Okay, better luck tomorrow. I mean, I don't know what things can change up there to make it better for you. Not much, probably, eh?
No, not really. Probably, I think it's going to get worse, but that's all right. I'm here to have fun. We're having fun.
Okay, thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Okay. So, Larry, yesterday obviously didn't work out how you wanted it all. It's been a bit of a problematic trip down south, hasn't it?
No, we've encountered a few problems since we've been here. Yesterday, I thought we'd have a pretty good run, and right off the bat, I think it was Reese Millen. He got off the road a little bit and threw up a bunch of rocks, and I came around the corner, and I don't have enough clearance to really clear them, and we knocked the oil pump off and lost our oil pressure and ruined the motor. So we spent the evening last night putting another Vortec V8 in there.
So I don't think there's any problem with the motor other than things like that, the damage rocks can do to you, but the power-wise, you've got plenty. You still got problems traction-wise, though, and plenty of them, I think. Yes, we have plenty of power. We have more power than we do tire. Our problem really is our tires. I mean, we have plenty of horsepower. Where the surface is good, it'll go just fine. But where there's mud and the rocks and things like that, we're very limited as to what we can do. I'm sure you're very motivated to get to the top of the mountain again. You've had, what, one clean run so far? Yes, I've only had one clean run up there, so I don't know the course real well yet. So next year, I'll know it by next year. So we're still, this will be another test run for us, a practice run. It's just important that we get up there and show everyone what the Vortec engine's like and how well it can run. If you visualized what you'd like to bring back next year, tell me about it. We could come back with the same truck, but we'd have a different wheel and tire combination. Quite a bit different, to where we'd have more ground clearance. We got to get taller tires, and we got to get away from the ground so we can clear the rocks, and so we can get off of the end of the drainage ditches a little bit where they all hook their tires where I can't go. And I really need to be down inside on those turns. Yeah, I bet it's frustrating. You're going to corners and you're sitting in the middle of the road because you can't afford to go anywhere else, can you? Nope, I'm sitting in the middle of the road, and there's a lot of rocks in the middle of the road, so I'm in trouble wherever I go, and that's our problem. Okay, well, good luck for today. Hopefully we'll see you at the top. Thank you. I'm sure I'll be there. Okay. Thank you. Right. So, Larry, this is a bit different than what you've been accustomed to at home. This is quite a bit different. I'm used to the sand and the desert, the sun. Haven't seen it since I've been here, really. And Pikes Peak, this is not, huh?
This is not right. It's similar, but it's not. It's quite a bit different by the same token. Some things are the same, but a lot of things are a lot different.
Well, to folks back home who know Pikes Peak and know your exploits there, I mean, explain this hill here in Queenstown.
Well, I thought the hill here really is, it's a little bit shorter, but we have just about as many turns. It's probably a more technical course. You're plenty busy doing it. It's a very hard course to learn because you don't have many, the markings all look the same. Each turn looks the same, where Pikes Peak, we have a big tree here, a big rock there, and you can learn the turns much easier. This is a difficult course to learn. Plus the surface is entirely different. This is very rocky, much narrower, not near as smooth, and a lot different than what we're used to. Our vehicle's really not very well suited for this type of terrain.
Well, we see your GM pickup truck. I mean, it just has been struggling for traction here all the time. Tell us, explain what's happening.
Well, we simply have more power than we need. Our Vortec engine's putting out more than what we really need. We just need some more tires to go with it. If we had that, we'd do a lot better.
Yeah. So what happened? I mean, basically you guys came down to New Zealand not really knowing what you were going to encounter, and what you found is exactly what you didn't need with this truck setup, I guess.
That's exactly right. And then to top it off, now we've had a lot of rain, now we have a lot of mud. And so we're going backwards the longer we're here. We need some mud tires. That would help a lot for today, especially. So it looks like it's going to be a very, very wet run up the hill. That would be the biggest difference. With our tires, we're plenty happy with the Vortec engine and the vehicle itself. It's fine, but we need more clearance.
What possessed you to come down to New Zealand and take part in this hill climb? I mean, you know, you've got plenty of race activities at home. You've got Pikes Peak coming up. How come?
We wanted to show the people down here what the Vortec engine's like. It comes in their Holden down here in the Commodore, and we have an actual stock engine in our truck. And we're down here to try to show everyone what it's capable of doing.
Right. I see that you're running under the Australian GM branding actually as a Holden utility truck. No difference though to the truck setup basically.
No, it's the same truck, but this down here it's a Holden. We put different body work on it, but we run the exact same engines there and here. It's a common engine to back home for the Chevrolet and some other models back there.
Tell us your feelings when you first drove up this hill and had a look at this road and thought, oh, what have we got here?
Well, I was disappointed, you know, but we knew going in that it would be a little different. This is an orientation trip for us. We'll learn. We'll come back with a little better setup. We're here to learn and figure it out. I don't know the hill very well. I need to learn the hill, so more trips up the hill I get, the better I'll go.
Yeah. You'd come back with what? I mean, looking at your truck now, what would you do to it to actually modify it for this hill?
The truck is great. We have plenty of power. The Vortec engine's wonderful. We just need a different wheel and tire combination. That would be our biggest thing. We need a little more ground clearance. They keep kicking up rocks, and we just can't go over them, and we can't go around them, and so we're caught. We have to try to stop and go around whatever we can do. So we need more ground clearance. That's probably our biggest issue.
That's exactly what happened to you yesterday, that you got caught out with rocks thrown up. What happened actually?
That's exactly what happened. Some rocks got thrown up by a vehicle in front of us, and we come around the turn with nowhere to go, and we don't have any choice but to, you know, I have to drive over the middle of them, and we just can't clear them, and it caught our oil pump, and that was it.
So one engine later, you have to replace it. Now you've got the finals today. What can you plan for? I mean, when rocks are getting strewn all over the place.
Well, hopefully they won't do it, or hopefully I'll miss them. I'll be plenty careful today, and we want to make it to the top. We want to finish the race. So I'll try and drive around the best I can. Yesterday I was in a big hurry, so today I'll slow it down a little bit.
You've looked very frustrated over the last couple of days. I mean, you've had mishaps because of this situation whereby the truck setup is just not suited to this mountain, yeah?
Yeah, we're just a little bit out of our element. We'll be ready next time.
Yeah. Glad you're talking in that positive frame of mind. You'll be back and you'll really do it this time, yeah?
No, we'll come back. We'll be much more prepared. Like I said, we didn't have much choice. We knew we were coming down here to see what it's like and to give people exposure to the Holden V8.
Very good. Larry, have a good run today. We'll see you at the top.
Thank you. Enjoy being here.
Okay, thanks very much. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, Wayne. So where's the little side fishing inside?
Up there?
Yeah.
Yep. So Russ, it looks like it's been a pretty tough initiation for the team down here at the Queenstown Gold Rush.
Oh, it's always an education. We had a few stumbling blocks, but we work hard and never say die.
Yeah.
We've been working hard.
a steep hill and a steep learning curve, I guess, huh?
It's you know, we didn't really know what we were coming into when we came over here. We had heard some ideas. I mean, this truck was specifically designed for Pikes Peak, and the course is quite a bit different here. When we came up here on the first day and ran up in the rent-a-car, the course seemed pretty smooth, but you could tell that it was going to get rutted up. And as we ran, it just continued to get worse and worse, and led to our slight problem yesterday. But again, I guess it's all how you recover, correct?
That's right, yeah. As long as we see you in action on the hill today, that's the main thing, I guess.
10-4.
Yeah. Now, I mean, basically, Larry was saying that, you know, really he's got a big problem with the truck and the setup that it's in. Got plenty of power, he's got the truck is set up nicely, but not for this hill.
Yeah, it's just the tires we knew were going to be an issue. The brake package on this truck is specifically designed big brakes, and it'll only take a 17-inch wheel. So we had some trouble getting a true rally type tire on it to maybe get the car up a little bit. The car is basically based on a Trans Am chassis, so it's more of a road racing thing, which is what Pikes Peak ends up being on race day. It almost is like asphalt the whole way up, so it turns into a real deep blue groove.
So you guys knew you were in trouble right from the moment you saw the hill and the state of the road, yeah?
Yeah, we, you know, I still think we did very presentable considering what it is, first year up. Larry, every run he makes, learns the hill better, and he's an incredible driver. We've got a great powertrain. The Vortec engine, as everybody heard here, was the talk of the town. It surely sounded great and ran very well. We had an incident again with a rock. We tried to box everything in as well as we could, but we got a rock in the oil pump belt, and the belt come off, and we lost oil pressure. So just to be safe, we did an engine swap last night.
I mean, yes, I was going to say that everybody's been hugely impressed with how you've been able to use the package you've got, which everyone knows is not perfect for this hill, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're really happy with our results. I mean, we figured we'd be somewhere, and you know, we were hoping for the top 10, and it looks like we should have that covered. So.
Yeah. What would you do to this truck? What would you put on it, suspension-wise, tire-wise, when you come back?
We're going to work with BF Goodrich. They've been a very big supporter of all of our GM Racing and GM Powertrains programs, and we're going to work with BF Goodrich to try to develop a plan whether we need to maybe go to a slightly smaller brake package in the front so we can get to a 16. BF Goodrich's affiliation with Michelin will work very well. Michelin has a great deal of experience with rallycross and the like, so we know that they have some 16-inch wheels that we feel will work very well on the vehicle. So that's kind of our plan of attack as of right now.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys have turned into crowd pleasers already. The spectators love you, but as Larry says, that's not getting us up the mountain quickly.
Exactly. I mean, everybody on our crew are die-hard racers. We don't like to have problems. We like to be out front, and if we come back, we're going to do everything we can to be closer to the front.
Okay. Hey, good to see you here. Look forward to seeing you back next year. Thanks. So, Larry, happy to be up here?
Yeah, I'm real excited to be up here. I was a little nervous down there. And just the track's a little too slippery for us, you know, and it was really a little more tentative than I needed to be. If I had another go at it now, we could do much better, but I'm sure everyone else could too.
Right, okay.
Then once we've had a look at it, and then we know, well, it's not quite as bad as we thought it was.
Right.
It was pretty nice.
The motor you put in has got as much power or what?
No, this is absolutely a stock Holden motor. It's what's available, the Vortec V8, the 5700, and it's we had that for a backup. We had a race motor and knocked the oil pump off, so we had to put in the went down, took one out of a Commodore and put it in here. Run the stock fuel injection and everything, but it ran well. We have plenty of power for the tires that we have, so it really didn't help us to have any more horsepower having a race motor.
I think it's the biggest smile we've seen you have for a few days.
It's finally, I'm here. Now I'll smile now.
Okay.
I was happy with that. That's as well as I can do right now.
Very good. Okay, thanks for coming, and we look forward to seeing you back here next year.
Thanks, I enjoyed it. We'll be back.
Thanks, Larry. Very good.
That's what I said. These fast cars, it's very spectacular as they finish here at the Silverstone Reach of the Sky.
Top three so far: Reece Miller, 920, also Marty Rottenberg, 929, Tim Austin, 930, and Ian Fitz holding fourth
Layne.
place. On the clock.
Quick talk. Some round just there.
32.5. It's going to be very interesting indeed and see what happens.
Yeah. So, Layne, after all the ordeal of the last few days, worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it. Being up here makes it worth it. If we wouldn't have made it up here, it wasn't worth it. So it's good to be up here.
It wasn't the sort of time that you maybe could have got with the motor you brought here to New Zealand, but still, hey, you got up to the top.
Yeah, the practice time that I missed would have got me a whole lot more time than the motor. I mean, the motor was fine. I had plenty of power. I just don't know the road, and it really catches you. You slow down for a corner that you think sharp, and it's not sharp, and that really slows you down. But come back next year, know the road a little bit better, and go a whole lot faster, I hope.
So that cobbled together motor worked real good, yeah?
Yeah, no flaws. It ran great, a lot of horsepower, tons of horsepower, probably too much. We were spinning the wheels. I don't think the tires quit spinning from the start line until up here. I mean, they're spinning the whole way. But we're up here, we're safe. Thank the Lord Jesus for Easter, and what a great weekend, huh?
It's really good. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks very much. You guys are going to have to really concentrate on this load.
forward.
Right.
Yeah, you are.
No, I just got to find the hole. I might have it on the rock.